This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Grammarly Premium. Get a 1-month free trial of Grammarly Premium. If you want to write better work documentation, better emails, I'm using Grammarly Premium. Also, thank you to TubeBuddy and vidIQ for sponsoring today's show. If you want watch time, views, monetization on YouTube Creator Award, all you need to do is click on the link to TubeBuddy or vidIQ. And if you need help with your tags and keywords, you're in the right place. Also, thank you to Amazon Music Unlimited for sponsoring today's show. If you want your free trial of Amazon Music Unlimited, click on the link to my website to find out more. Welcome to the Stephen Shiels radio show. I've got Dr Michael Freelander on the show. How are you?
I'm good, Stephen. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to have you on. And, it's 2021, and I wanted to get your view on the vaccine rollout for COVID-19. How do you see it coming out?
Well, I think there's no question that the rollout has been a little bit slow.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to get involved in is this fight between the states and the Commonwealth about whose fault it is.
Mm.
There is no question it could have been done a little quicker, or there were some supply issues. But I'm hopeful now, as the vaccine rolls out, that it'll ramp up pretty quickly and everyone will get immunised. I'm booked in for my immunisation, which is in a couple of weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky in Australia that our numbers of COVID infections have been low,
mm-hmm.
and that's given us a bit of time, and so I'm very positive about the longer term, but they do need to ramp up the immunisation very quickly.
Yeah.
I think the AstraZeneca vaccine, which will be the one that I will be getting, is a very good vaccine in terms of preventing severe disease.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, as I said, very optimistic about it.
How come not everyone's going to get the Pfizer or the Johnson & Johnson? Why the AstraZeneca?
Well, the AstraZeneca one has a couple of advantages. First of all, it's made in Australia by CSL down in Melbourne, so we can ramp up the numbers very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing. They're working around the clock to get our vaccine numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very effective vaccine. It appears against virtually all the strains that they've got so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the side effect profile is pretty low. There's been some talk about blood clots in middle-aged women, but that risk appears to be very small. So it's a good vaccine, low side effect profile, make it in Australia, so we'll be able to get the numbers up. The Pfizer vaccine is what's called a messenger RNA vaccine. It's a good vaccine also, but it's not made in Australia. And we have already had difficulties getting supplies from Europe where it's made.
Yeah.
And so, whilst initially that was the one we were using, it's not, we don't have enough supply of that to immunise everyone. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine appears to be quite good, or the Johnson & Janssen vaccine, but it, again, supplies that are likely to be limited. Its advantage is that it appears that you only need one dose of it. So it may be down the track for different strains. If they evolve, we might be getting some of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We have, however, got supplies of the Novavax vaccine already ordered, and I believe that'll be available in the next month or so.
Mm-hmm.
It has to meet all the approval processes through the TGA, and it's not as yet available, but it will become available. That's a different sort of vaccine. It's a spike protein vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, does appear to be very good, but we're still waiting for final approval for that. So there will be eventually enough vaccines for everyone. And whilst the initial rollout's been a little bit slow, I'm hopeful it will ramp up pretty quickly from now.
Yeah, because, most vaccines take 3 to 5 years to make, and they've gone and made this one in a year. I have concerns that there's going to be side effects to it.
Well, look, there's side effects to any medical procedure. The side effect profile, as I said, for those vaccines, the AstraZeneca one and the Pfizer one, appear to be relatively low.
Mm-hmm.
There was the concern about allergic reactions with AstraZeneca and Pfizer, but these appear to be pretty low in number, low risk. The blood clotting issue with the AstraZeneca vaccine appears to be a small risk, mostly in middle-aged women, but the risk is small. Unlikely that there are any other major risks. We've not seen, there's been lots of studies done so far, and the information's coming in all the time, but they appear to be very, very safe vaccines. And I certainly can't wait until I get my vaccination done.
Can the government, is the government going to give a green card so once you get vaccinated so you can travel overseas? How's it going to work?
Well, I think that the so-called vaccination passport is not something that's been fully worked out yet.
Yeah.
And people are looking at it. I think that it's a bit too optimistic to think that if everyone in Australia gets immunised, that they'll be able to travel freely, because obviously we're not 100% sure as yet as whether the vaccine will prevent us transmitting the virus. It does appear to reduce transmission risk, but exactly how much we don't know.
Mm.
And the other issue is, of course, at this stage we're not immunising children. So although there are studies going on about that, we probably will start immunising children at some stage, there'll still be a pool of people in Australia who are still at risk of getting the virus, even though they're younger. So really we don't know whether a vaccine passport will be either possible or whether people will want it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talks on the media, and I think the Prime Minister was talking about it to make it mandatory to have it if you wanted to travel overseas.
Yes.
Yeah. Can the Australian government force you to have the vaccine?
No.
Okay.
And I think both sides of politics would say we don't want to force people to have the vaccine. What it may mean, though, that if you work in certain occupations, for example, aged care, etc., they may ask you to have the vaccine before you work there.
How come we have to have 2 shots, and how long do you have to wait after the first dose?
Well, with the Pfizer vaccine, you have to wait 6 weeks, I think it is, and with the AstraZeneca vaccine, you have to have 3 months between the 2 doses, although that can be modified. There are immunological reasons why you have to have 2 doses. The first dose primes your immune system, and the second dose then ramps up that response, so your immunity increases. As I say, the Johnson & Johnson Janssen vaccine, you only need 1 dose. So there are different vaccine characteristics. What I would say is that new vaccines are being developed all the time, and it may well be that there are better vaccines to become available over the next months and years. So we're still looking at different things. We're also looking at whether there are any medications that can be used that will prevent the virus. So there's a whole range of different research projects looking at different ways of managing COVID-19.
Have you known people with COVID-19, and is it very bad to get it?
Well, most people get a mild illness, but a significant number of people, about 20 to 30%, can get a severe illness, and a certain number of people will die with the virus. There are risk factors. It tends to be worse in older people or people who have heart or lung problems, and the mortality rates vary around between 1% and 4%, depending where you live and what sort of medical treatments are available. But it is a nasty virus. I have known people who've had it, and they tell me they feel absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And just really bad. other people can have it and not have any symptoms. So it's a strange virus, the way it affects people differently. But it's much more severe than influenza. The mortality, in other words, people it kills are much higher than influenza. It really is a nasty virus, and none of us want to get it, I can tell you.
Yeah, because it's coming from the SARS COVID or something from SARS. Is that correct? This virus?
Well, it's not coming from SARS, but they are related viruses, the same class of virus.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. SARS and MERS are similar sort of viruses that have evolved in the past. Although SARS was much more fatal, and MERS was even more fatal again. So, this was coming, and we should have been more prepared, but we will be in the future.
Because there will be another pandemic in the future that will be worse than coronavirus, I think.
Well, we hope not, but it's certainly possible.
And I hope we can get back to normal as well.
Look, we may never get back to the way things were, but we will get back to some form of normality. And we will hope for that. And I think we should be very glad that we've got a system, a health system, and a political system that's allowed us to deal so well compared to many other countries around the world who've done so badly.
Yeah, Australia's been a lucky country.
Indeed, yeah.
And mental health, like 2020, people started having a lot of mental health problems because of the lockdown.
A lot of stress, that's for sure.
What about yourself? Were you working from home?
I spent a short time working from home, but then otherwise I've been going to Canberra and in the office, so and that's what we've been good. We've been lucky.
Yeah. Mike, thanks for coming on the show today.
Good to talk to you, Stephen.
Awesome. Take care.
We'll be in contact. Right.
Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the podcast. Thank you to the sponsors as well. Don't forget, new podcasts are out every Friday, so turn on your notifications so you can get notified. Also subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can send a donation to my GoFundMe page as well. And podcasts are out every Friday. Cheers and bye for now.